questions, Mr. Secretary. Thanks for being here. First, on the CBP One App that you were speaking about right now, migrants that are speaking to journalists, including our reporters on the ground, have indicated a series of frustrations. They say they're having trouble logging on, they're having trouble getting appointments, they're having trouble with language barriers. Perhaps they speak indigenous languages or others, and they're seeing technical glitches right now. So what specifically is being done to fix that right now, and does that app provide false hope to these migrants coming that will only lead to future frustration and surges like we saw from Venezuelans only a matter of months ago?
So we have seen a tremendous acceptance of the CBP One app. We are utilizing it very effectively. As I referenced earlier in response to the reporter's prior question, that 740 people per day are reaching our port of entry. Those, by the way, are not individuals who've only made appointments, but actually a fraction of the people who have made appointments using the CBP One app. It has proven successful. We have identified glitches, and we've done so not unilaterally, exclusively, but also by speaking with individuals who have used the app, by speaking with migrants here in the United States who have reached the United States, as well as actually going into Mexico and meeting with migrants to understand the challenges, if I may. So we have addressed the challenges of which we are aware. The greatest challenge with respect to the CBP One app is not a technological challenge, but rather the fact that we have many more migrants than we have the capacity to make appointments for. The greatest level of frustration is actually being able to make the appointment, not the utility of the CBP One app itself. That is, again, another example of a broken immigration system.
I can follow up on a foreign policy question, though, very broadly, just quickly. The U.S. has sanctions right now on a series of foreign nations, on Cuba, on Venezuela, on Nicaragua. So does the Biden administration's foreign policy make this situation worse?
So I'm going to leave that to our foreign policy specialist, but I will say this: the predicate of those principles are separate and apart from the immigration challenge that we're confronting.
Terry, and we're going to try and get around. Terry, go ahead, and then I'll go back.
Given the time you say this is going to take, and based on what you're seeing now at the southern border and beyond in Mexico, I wonder if you could offer some details, paint a picture. What should Americans in those border communities and beyond expect in the coming days and weeks? What's this going to look like for them?
We could see very crowded, as we are now, we could see very crowded Border Patrol facilities. I cannot overstate the strain on our personnel and our facilities. But we know how to manage through such strain, as difficult as it will be. I have tremendous confidence and pride in our personnel. Let me share with you an example of how we managed through a very difficult situation. In El Paso, Texas, we saw individuals on the street. We engaged in a very sensitive and humane law enforcement operation to address that challenge, and we successfully have done so to the praise of the city of El Paso.
Can I just follow up? Our teams in El Paso say that there are hundreds of migrants now in the open, in shelter with very limited access to food and water and bathrooms for days. Why are they being processed? Is that what we can expect?
So we are working very closely with nonprofit organizations, with community groups, to really deliver a community response to the challenge. I cannot overstate how much of a challenge it is going to be, and how we all have to deal with it as one administration and one country. Fundamentally, we need Congress to act.
Go ahead, Michael.